Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another video. Oh my goodness, where to begin with this? The Star Wars brand is experiencing an unprecedented shift. If you would have told me 2 months ago I'd be making a video like this, I never would have believed you. But right now, we are seeing a shocking turning of the tide. This comes after a few very rocky years for the Star Wars fandom, but for the first time in a long time, Star Wars feels alive again. And I don't just mean a few fans checked out the most recent show, I mean truly alive, as in fans seem really excited again. In this video from a couple of days ago, I spoke about my worries that after Andor Season 2 we were going to face a dead period, but I was proven wrong within 48 hours. The opposite is true. I'm over the moon to see what's been going on and we're going to talk about that. And looking around, I'm not the only Star Wars YouTuber flabbergasted by this. This comes after a rare series of surprising wins. Ones which in parts might be accidental, but in mid-2025, Lucasfilm has just found itself in an unprecedented position. But really, my dear friends, it's an opportunity to bring Star Wars back to its former greatness in the pop culture space. Now that Andor Season 2 has come to an end, we don't have any live-action content until The Mandalorian and Grogu, an entire year until the next live-action project, and I'm starting to realize that might be the biggest blessing in disguise for the Star Wars brand. They've just finished Andor with a bang, the show is enormous, it's popular, fans are loving it, and now for the first time in many years, Lucasfilm is giving fans the opportunity to miss Star Wars. No oversaturation, The Mandalorian and Grogu and Ahsoka Season 2 are a year away. This is a huge opportunity. Let me explain. Star Wars is experiencing a moment we haven't seen since the build-up to the sequel trilogy, and the reason for this resurgence can be explained by 3 major events. Number 1, Revenge of the Sith's 20th anniversary re-release did insane numbers, nearly $50 million at the global box office. Number 2, the popularity of Andor's final season, and the record-breaking reception to it. And number 3, something which a couple of you guys have asked me to talk about, the calls for a third Battlefront. All of the sudden excitement for Star Wars has manifested in gamers returning to Battlefront 2. The number of players is soaring for the first time in years. And joining the calls for a Battlefront 3 is Wilmon Pack himself, Mahanad Ben Amor, and I'm joining him and many others in saying we need a third Battlefront. I had so much fun playing it during the days of the build-up to The Last Jedi. Since 2021, there's only been a drop-off. Numbers were stagnating, bouncing somewhere between 900 and 2,000 concurrent players. But suddenly at the start of this month, May 2025, players began to rise dramatically, hitting 5.5 thousand players on Star Wars Day and 7.8 thousand on the 18th of May, so just a couple of days ago, the highest player count since January 2021. So I spoke about the 3 factors, but I think the biggest one has to be Andor. Season 2 has inspired everyone to fight the Empire, and Battlefront 2 is so big at the moment that once again, fans are calling upon a third installment. There's even a petition that appeared on change.org. In just a few days it's amassed over 5,000 signatures. What is going on at the moment? So what should Lucasfilm do about this? I think the answer is simple. Let this play out. Listen to fan wishes and watch the fandom ride this wave of nostalgia before bringing out something new. Adjust future content accordingly, even if that means stark creative choices, because the bar's been set. Sorry to be repetitive, and you guys have heard me say this before, not everything has to have the tone of Andor, but it should have that quality. There's no excuse. You have a franchise which many diehards fell out of love with, but now they're starting to come back. You have this miracle second chance, don't waste it. This break won't affect projects already in production, but it can absolutely change Lucasfilm's future outlook and their overall approach to how they plan future stories. I think Ahsoka Season 2 will be a banger, not just because of things we've heard and the concept art, but because it's going to benefit for not releasing in the same year as Andor. I think this gap in content can only be a good thing for Star Wars. It gives fans an opportunity to miss it, and the brand has always thrived on nostalgia. Lucasfilm should really see that to their benefit, because in the eyes of fans, the final project, the final live-action show before this massive break, was a huge success. Everyone seems to love it. Aside from a couple of animated projects like Star Wars Visions and Young Jedi Adventures, we don't have much until 2026, and that's great, because if the Mando movie or Ahsoka Season 2 came out later this year, I can't help but feel as though the fandom would be a bit disappointed. It would feel like such an unfair comparison. Now, I'm of the opinion that Andor is great, but I also love other Star Wars, including Ahsoka. It's only a good thing it's being allowed to breathe. Aside from the last couple of years, for most of its history, Star Wars has been very spread out, so nostalgia and missing it only ever did wonders for the box office. So this is a welcome break. We've had so much oversaturation the last few years, and I genuinely believe that's going to give Lucasfilm a much stronger chance when the movie The Mandalorian and Grogu rolls around. Like I said, if Ahsoka had been this year, I think the debate of Filoni versus Gilroy would have been even more exaggerated. There would naturally be more of those comparisons, fans putting one show down over the other, fans talking about how Star Wars is dead again, the Doom posts, as I like to call them. It would just be a mess. But returning to Battlefront 3, there are quite a lot of exciting Star Wars games coming up. A lot of them without updates, but they're still in the pipeline. But aside from maybe the third Jedi game, the prospect of a third Battlefront game is unanimously desired. Unfortunately though, while the game's developers will no doubt be very excited that fans are returning to Battlefront 2, a third game feels very unlikely. While Battlefront 2 sold a whopping 9 million copies by the end of 2017, it still fell short of EA's sales target. But maybe this resurgence is going to make them rethink some things. EA blames the sales numbers on the controversy surrounding the game's loot box system, but like I said about nostalgia and fans returning to those things they love, I think we're ready. I think Battlefront 3 would shatter records and reinvigorate the entire landscape of Star Wars gaming. This moment Star Wars is experiencing could just be temporary, but if there were ever a time for a Battlefront comeback, it'd be now. Nothing seems to be slowing the uptick in Battlefront 2 player counts. And remember guys, this is 8 years after its initial release. We also have to consider the Fortnite Star Wars crossover could have had something to do with it, but what's certain is that people are excited about Star Wars as a universe again. I mean, think back to just a few months ago, the apathy was through the roof. Fans were using terms like dead franchise to describe Star Wars. But a once-in-a-generation show like Andor Season 2 has proven what I always suspected. Star Wars fans, even the ones who claim they've walked away from the franchise, those who say they're fed up and they're done, are always secretly hoping that Star Wars does make a comeback. And this is a very good start. Taking some time away from Disney+, not giving us any new live-action content, really allows fans to bask in the moment, to really crave something new, instead of the certainty like it's been for the last few years, that there's always another show on the horizon. This time it's a longer wait, and this approach is going to see numbers continue to soar. Rogue One is still trending on Disney+. I don't even think this approach was intentional, because there were delays, there were strikes, all kinds of production issues afflicting Andor and some of the other series, but the way it's panned out, the way the stars have aligned, is perfect. Andor Season 2 comes out, is seen as the best Star Wars show in years. In the same month that Revenge of the Sith's 20th anniversary is also drawing in big numbers, fans are once again feeling a pull towards the galaxy they grew up loving, they're consuming more Star Wars content, they're immersing themselves in the video games. It's something which came out of the blue, and all I can say is, I hope it continues. And this anticipation and excitement, it spreads. Whether it's through word of mouth or algorithms, or maybe in the case of Battlefront, fans are craving another multiplayer Star Wars game. All of the aforementioned conditions made for fertile ground for Star Wars to make a big comeback. And if you would have told me this would have been the case after something like The Acolyte, I never would have believed you. I thought Andor Season 2 would come around, it'd be great, but just like the first season it would suffer low viewership, and it would just be another footnote, appreciated by the few. I'm so glad that's changed. Viewership for the second season is growing by the day, word of mouth, those going back to do a rewatch, those who are binging it from start to finish. This could be the start of something amazing. But what do you guys think? Do you feel the pull towards Star Wars again? Could this be the beginning of a new golden era for the franchise? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, my dear friends, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and may the Force be with you, always.